What's up? What's up? Hello, welcome back. Hope you're having a great Friday. Happy Friday. I'm wonderful. Thanks for joining me. Court is back in session with your guy, Jonathan Mathis, the sports judge. Make sure you support the channel by hitting the subscribe button. If you're watching on TikTok, please click follow for great sports content. Welcome in to Speaking with Judgment. If you were to ask me twice if I thought the Knicks would be in a position they are in right now, I would have never guessed they would have a 2-0 serious lead over the Boston Celtics. Like, what's going on here? I would not be shocked if the Knicks return to MSG and take the next two to win the series. My mind and heart is telling me the Knicks, now just from seeing the way they've played in this series, my mind and heart is telling me they're going to take this series. Damn, I may have misjudged Boston and more importantly the Knicks. My mistake, my bad. I can admit when I'm wrong. I was dead wrong about the Knicks. I really thought the Celtics would take care of the Knicks in 5. It's a solid team from top to bottom, but the Knicks are actually hustling, more physical, and just overall wanted more. I didn't think the Celtics would look this pathetic. I'm like, there's no way this happens again. Boston will not have another historically bad shooting night. They won't do this again. Game 2, a second time, and they blow a 20-point lead. Not only do you blow a large, comfortable lead, you lose in heartbreaking fashion after another fourth quarter collapse. Nobody can make a shot. All they shoot is threes and nothing is falling. A lot of credit should go to the Knicks. Insane to think about the fact that New York can potentially knock out the defending champs. The Knicks, they were pretenders. Now I've changed my mind about them. I apologize to New York folks. I apologize to everybody in New York. I'm sorry. Sorry for underestimating this Knicks team. I felt they were maybe 1 or 2 years out from being a more serious contender. You know, I was looking at the offensive limitations, the lack of bench depth, Tom Thibodeau's coaching flaws and blunders, the lack of ball movement. But here are the Knicks with a 2-0 advantage in the series. We really have to talk about not just a couple of wins, but the resilience of this team as they are never out of a game. You know, I anticipated a Celtics win. I even picked a blowout loss, which it appeared to look as if Boston would humiliate them. I was convinced that what eventually came in Game 1 wouldn't happen in Game 2 because usually when you have bad shooting nights, you respond in Game 2 or whatever game it is with a stronger performance, a better effort, urgency. So I was convinced of it. And then again, just like in Game 1, Boston gave that game to New York. I was convinced that the Celtics were going to be the best version of themselves in Game 2. And once again, in the fourth quarter, Boston fell apart. Another fourth quarter collapse. What was a 20-point lead? I mean, the Knicks were dead in the water. Down 20. Looked cooked. It turned out to be a comeback for the ages. I talked about this the other night. You know, I talked about this game the night of where I put a post out there and I was like, guys, Jalen Brunson is a superstar in my eyes. I would take him over anyone in the fourth quarter of a close game. You have an army of people talking more about him foul baiting when he's basically bringing his team back from the dead with his clutch shot making. When he has the ball in his hands with the game hanging in the balance, Jalen is everything New York embodies. What I will submit to you all is this very simple picture. Jalen Brunson, I believe, is the greatest thing to ever happen to the state of New York. We're not suggesting he's the greatest Knick to ever do it. It's too early to say that. We're simply suggesting he's the greatest thing to ever happen because of what we're seeing from him. That's what I believe this to be. I really like him as a player. Jalen Brunson, clutch. Absolutely clutch. A clutch player who is just fun to watch, delivers when his team needs a big shot. Mikal Bridges, sensational. Bridges, who scored all 14 of his points in the fourth quarter, won it for New York on another defensive play at the end of the game. And you know, the resiliency of this Knicks team has been talked about a lot. But never more than Wednesday night's 20-point comeback on the road against a team that couldn't beat them in the regular season. Unreal. 2 20-point comebacks in a row. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that in consecutive playoff games. It looks as if I was wrong after all about the Knicks. There's plenty of room for criticism, but can we just acknowledge what they're doing? How good are the New York Knicks? The scrappy underdogs have come to play. It just feels like they got something. It's good for basketball if the Knicks win. You got a clutch star. You got an unexpected team on this magical run. To me, that makes the league look good. For the Knicks to earn a spot in the Eastern Conference Finals, they will have to do something uncomfortable to win. And they've done that twice already. And regardless of their flaws and shortcomings, they've beaten up the defending champs. Came into Boston's house, made Jason Tatum and the rest of the Celtics look completely silly. Again, I'm sorry for disrespecting the Knicks. It's pretty obvious what's going on, and it's amazing to watch. Crazy to see they've locked down on defense. Bridges is a tough defender. Brunson can carry them for stretches. OG Anunoby is a defensive maniac, consistently putting the clamp on anybody he wants. I don't know any NBA player that matches OG Anunoby's defensive ability. Through 2 games, OG's defense has been stellar. 19 points, 7 turnovers, 5 steals. You got to like what you're getting from him, as he has been this all-around defender the Knicks paid for. Blowing up screens, elite shot contest. We need to really start, honestly, put them into the context of their physicality, resiliency, and grit. This team just never quits. When you're playing sports, it's battle versus battle. It's a physical game, and everybody's competing at a high level. Everybody looks to come down hard on the Boston Celtics, and rightfully so. They're the defending champs, but a lot of credit should go to the Knicks. All this talk about the Knicks and what Jason Tatum isn't doing, let's talk about what the New York Knicks are actually doing. If you're Boston, panic. The Knicks are tougher. They're playing harder. They're playing with more effort. This New York team just feels destined this year to reach the finals. No quit. A bunch of guys who play with a lot of heart. They take the best punch from the opposition, but constantly keeps attacking. The thing about them, they just wanted more. There is no more doubting the Knicks. They have a crazy energy about them, and they continue to win when it matters. Locked and loaded. You're talking about a group of guys that have the more aggressive mindset. I'm blown away because the Knicks in this series have exemplified pace and patience. Their defensive first mentality results in beautiful offense and stretches of the game, particularly late. Truly insane. And it's almost like, I'll say it like this, that the Knicks have the competitive spirit. And if they punch first, they stay in the fight. Or if the opposing team punches first, they stay in the fight. The last punch, as we've seen in this series, is the best punch. It was the best punch to throw. You're going to have to weather the storm, and the Knicks have. And every time the Celtics throw the first few punches, the Knicks respond. I think the Knicks are tougher and stronger in every facet of the game in this series. And to me, this Knicks run, when you compare to where you thought they would be, is one of the most storybook runs. It's really amazing. Okay, folks, that's all for this video. That's all I have for you guys right now. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you all. I really appreciate it. Before I go, please remember to like and subscribe and follow on TikTok. See you guys again very soon. Enjoy your weekend. Hope you guys have a great Friday. See you guys again very soon.